Recorded in their mother's basement, Super Nerdland brings you Graded Point 5, where in a comic book it would be worth less than the polybag it comes in.
Hey everybody, welcome to Graded Point 5, where everything we're covering is made up and our points really don't matter.
Yeah, baby.
I'm your host, Jason. With me is a bunch of the usual assholes and a special asshole. So we got Dick and Daryl.
Yeah, the usual suspects.
Yeah, don't leave home without them.
Yeah, I almost missed the show tonight because I was out back behind the Panda Express fucking digging through the garbage, so I cut it close, but I made it, so
see, I almost forgot my asshole before the start of the show.
Now, see, the problem is with this show, we've just, by the time we're recording this, put out our 30th episode, and I just realized something. They're sausage fest, dude.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of swinging dicks on this show. But tonight we have brought somebody in with breasts. Wait, I'm sorry. Bigger breasts. Yeah.
They're titties at that point, man.
No, I'm just looking down at my big old saggy man boobs, and I got a little distracted by the fucking.
Let's let our guests say hi, guys. Come on.
Nah, man, we're misogynists. Go on and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Piper.
That was definitely worth the wait.
I have titties.
But no.
But no, before anyone actually thinks this is legitimate, it's more the fact Piper and I have been talking about comics for like a fucking year now. Yeah. And it's like, you know what? Get your ass on here.
We've done some podcasts with Piper.
Well, I've done a couple streams with her.
Yeah, that's right.
I've been around.
Games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is she's the Super Nerdland neighborhood bike.
Oh, damn.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, she's a tandem bicycle.
I have no... Oh, Lordy Jesus. Now, Daryl went to sleep with images of spit roasting dancing in his head.
Off topic it is.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, but that was our intro.
So, Hellboy.
Bicycle. Oh, my gosh.
You know I'm just...
I have a feeling that one's going to stick, though.
I've called you worse.
Yes, true.
Alright, so this is week 8 of Hellboy. We're almost done. Home stretch.
Fucking hell.
This week is a little two-parter called The Island. And as we talk about this, if you feel that anything we say is particularly egregious, because let's face it, Daryl is usually wrong.
No, not usually, dude. I got 100% fucking score on that shit. Do not fucking sell my accuracy being inaccurate short.
But yes, as Daryl is wrong, please, we encourage you to get on social media. Get on Twitter. Hit us up at Graded.5. Just spell it all out. There's no point in... So, yeah.
There's no point to...
Yeah. We can't put a dot in the fucking... name, so it's just word, Graded.5. Alright.
Yeah, you come and give us some of that sweet feedback. No. Yeah,
so
we look forward to hearing from you.
As we were saying, this is The Island. It's a little two-parter, taking place after Hellboy leaves the BPRD.
Oh shit, was that what it was about?
Yeah.
I didn't read the comic.
Isn't that,
No.
Isn't that like a brand of, like, canned noodles?
Why would you can noodles?
Why not?
You've never heard of, like, fucking Chef Boyardee, bitch?
Yeah, that's soup. That's not just noodles. The way she said it implies it's just noodles in a can.
Dude, I'm sure there's some back-ass-words country out there fucking
Chef
selling noodles in a can.
It's spaghetti in a can. And what is spaghetti? It's noodles.
Yeah, but there's more than noodles to it.
Not in
The
Chef
way you said it
Boyardee.
sounded like it was literally just noodles.
Well, no,
nothing else.
Why are we talking about this, you fucking lunatics?
I told you I'm really good at derailing people's shit.
Alright,
Oh, shit.
let's be honest. Ain't none of us in a shape to give a synopsis of this, really.
Oh, yeah.
I can.
Alright.
Oh.
It's boring as fuck.
Oh, Jesus.
It's
Yeah.
nothing but talking. Existential dread and...
That's Hellboy, though.
Yeah, I fucking dig
Oh
it.
man, no! I see the Hellboy I used to read back in the day. He I don't know, killed shit. I mean, beat shit up, fought
He
shit.
does.
He didn't just sit and have conversations with.
Dude, he's going on an existential journey. Fucking ride with it.
I mean, yeah, that is kind of the point. Like, he does kind of alternate back and forth. As
It's
from,
true.
like,
I
like,
apparently only paid attention to the actiony parts
yeah.
of Hellboy.
So this is our 8th episode in a row about Hellboy. Doing one, storyline a week.
Yeah.
Or
Kind of running out of things to say about it, Jason.
Well, no, actually, I think this one adds a lot of really cool shit to it.
Nah, nothing happened according to Piper.
I also accidentally just skipped ahead a lot.
Yeah,
Real quick.
it's easy
there
to
we go.
do in that thing, in the readers.
Yeah, it's this mouse too is already too easy to accidentally scroll with. Shit.
That's what you get for using a Mac.
Get out.
Filthy casual.
Well, I don't use this for games. Technically, this is my work computer, but I consider comics work, so.
Alright, so are we going to attempt a synopsis, Jason?
It's dense. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no, in all seriousness, I really don't know how to break this down to and to
But it
give a
adds-
synopsis.
Without the context, it is kind of...
It adds so much to the Hellboy world that it's like Tolkien levels of dense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I will give it that. Even though it's a lot of talking, it's a lot of really opening up
the mythology.
storylines, honestly. Like,
Like, it pulls together so much. Like, Hecate comes back from way back when, like, in Volume 3, and starts being like, Hellboy, you can always join me again and shit. Trying to pull in Hellboy. So that storyline comes in.
Yeah.
And I was kind Jason, I was kind of with Piper, though. I missed several episodes, back when I was dealing with stuff. So, the last book we did was actually, a really good standalone issue. It wasn't too heavy on the mythology building. But, yeah, this one, at times, I have felt a little in over my head,
And
Yeah, I think that's the thing, too, is I haven't read Hellboy for a while, and I'm coming in at the ass end of y'all's Hellboy stuff.
Right.
I'm reading, and these two are what I get to read, and I'm like, this is laying so much shit on me.
But, dude, that's the thing, is normally it's not this fucking dense.
Right.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm playing. I say boring as fuck, but what I'm really saying is it's very interesting, but it was not what I expected to walk into.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and it's hard. It's really kind of hard to take a whole lot from it when you miss so much. Like,
Yeah, I really feel like if I had read some issues that happened before this, that maybe it would ease on in there.
Like, the thing is, at the core, this thing is setting up the fundamentals for a Lovecraftian style universe in 2 issues. There's no way you can do that without it coming across.
Dude, the way she's describing this comic, Jason, is like you shoved a Yule log up her ass.
Exactly.
Well, I just want to point out, too, that this is an awesome example of the storytelling that Mignola is really good at doing. Like, one of the things I've praised him over in the first, 6 episodes of this podcast that we've done is that Mike Mignola uses his art to tell the story. Well, this is the other side of Mignola that we don't see, that isn't very often done in Hellboy, specifically. BPRD is a totally different story, but, this is where we have, advanced sort of writing, sort of literary sort of stuff that we don't normally see from Mike. We have well-written dialogue, explaining things in a way that's not too advanced for the person reading to understand. Yes, it's a lot of words, and yes, it's really dense, but it's broken down in such a way that it's approachable, and it sets everything up for issue 10, which is awesome. It's just, this is one of those points where Mike's more than just his art style and his cool idea of a demon who doesn't want to be a demon. He can tell a really fucking good story too, and that's why I really like this comic.
Yeah, and I will say, even though I was lost at times, like, I dug the dialogue and what was going on. You just didn't understand it, but I thought it was well written and really creative and interesting. But I just, it doesn't have the resonance for me that it would for like you and Jason, unfortunately. And I think one of the things I'm going to do after we're done recording all this shit is go back and give the series a read.
And the thing is, really what we needed for this one, sadly to say, is Evan.
Yeah, because he's a little bit more into the Hellboy mythology, I think.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't suggest these for, like, anybody trying to get into Hellboy right away.
Go read Hellboy 1 if you want to get into Hellboy. That's where I would start.
Yeah. There's some comics that make it kind of easy to jump in right away, but those are also ones that reinvent their characters like every other month too.
Right.
Well, no, honestly, with Hellboy, they're all written so that you can jump in, except for this one for some fucked up.
That's why I said I wouldn't suggest this particular one. One thing I liked about Hellboy is I could, be out of the loop for a long time and still, like, get a hold of a Hellboy and, be entertained and be in it. So this one was a bit much because I've been out of the Hellboy comics for a bit, and I really liked the form of storytelling though.
And having been, I think, like one of maybe two of us that have been here since the first Hellboy, it was still hard to read.
I don't feel so dumb.
Yeah, I feel like this should have been information spread out over 3 or 4 arcs.
Yeah.
And technically it has been, in a sense. This arc does fucking share, continuity with the last. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was kind of like the beginning of the journey, at least as far as I'm aware, not having read the issues prior to that one. But it seemed like that was the beginning and this is the continuation, and we're learning more stuff. And we were dealing with Hellboy's old enemies come back in the last one and stuff, and it's more a story about the mermaids than even him in a lot of ways, but it was gave you some interesting insights into Hellboy and the kind of things he faced and the people that are, plotting around his fate and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I don't think it was too disconnected. But yeah, go ahead.
It's just too much continuity at once.
It is a lot to cram.
There was at least the asterisks and stuff that helped me fill in a few gaps.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like I felt about as lost as Hellboy himself in this in this comic than just flat out completely lost. So I at least like that they put a little callbacks to give me some point of reference as to why he's where he is and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it just kind of sucks that the timing, Yeah.
Yeah.
But, we needed the booby boost. No, I'm kidding. Nah, that's kind of how I felt when I came back last time, a couple weeks ago, when we picked it up. I just too out of the loop, man. It was a good story. It was a good book. I'm sure I'm missing a lot, So.
That's how I feel. Although I mostly feel like this was boring as hell, but that was because he wasn't really beating anybody up.
Right.
Yeah, it was just.
Because
He was a fucking god. Come on.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it doesn't even take that long.
Isn't that the entirety of almost the entirety of the second issue?
The whole time.
Yeah, but that was some cool exposition. I mean, the guy says, I will cut their eyes out and make them see. I love the human race and would be its savior. Let the people come on to me, and at least some of them will live. And then he turns into a big-ass thing, and Hellboy takes him down.
Yeah.
In typical
I
Hellboy
do
style.
like that. I mean, Hellboy is still Hellboy. He's still sitting there sarcastic and, like, acting pretty unaffected.
Right.
And then it's like, oh yeah, these gigantic space gods we've been worrying about Rasputin summoning, they're not even gods. They're a step below gods. Oh, and Hellboy's hand belonged to one of the actual, like, Watchers, who are these, like, literal god-like beings that are one step removed from the capital G, because you have to have, like, a hierarchy of 7 different kinds of gods, or you really don't count for Lovecraftian horror.
Right.
Yeah, I liked that bit. But I also liked that he was like, he did not give a rat's ass. Like, I like that too, because I was sitting here like, oh shit, really? But he did not give two shits.
Right.
By this point, it was really like anything you put Hellboy's name on was going to sell, so why not make it a dense fucking read of nothing but backstory?
Well, shit, dude. I mean, all the classics have done that, like fucking Mage and, I mean, Cerberus and fucking...
Cerebus?
Or was it Cerebus? Yeah. Cerberus is the fucking dog. Cerebus. Yeah, I mean, fucking, books like that were, and even Bone, they were dense books, with full of fucking world building and shit, so like, I think this was just like you said, by this time it was everything Hellboy was selling. But I think that allowed Mignola to kind of like, step up his game and and fucking work that shit in and really go dense with it, because, he knew he had the audience there, so now he could get to cramming all that gram into your golden grams. Jesus Christ. This is what you pay me for, Jason.
I don't fucking pay you.
Right, and that's why you get that motherfucker. But yeah, I think this was his opportunity to really kind of shine with the story aspect of the series and shit.
Well, it's such a strange departure from the first 7 issues of Hellboy in the order that we've read them, just because you get, exposition, fight scene, exposition, trippy visuals, exposition, fight scene, and this is like exposition, fight scene, a little bit more exposition. It's a total departure from the normal formula that works, and I think that's really what makes this such an interesting book in terms of the overall plot that we're building up to. And it's one of those things where Mike was like, all right, I'm pretty popular now, let me go ahead and take a risk and see how it pays off. And what I can tell, people really like this book, doing a cursory Google search. But, I just dig Mike. I dig his universe. I dig what he's able to do with characters and stuff,
Yeah, man. Definitely good at storytelling. For sure.
And ripping off Lovecraft.
Hey.
Well,
It's an homage, motherfucker.
That's one of the things Mike does really well too. Is Mike is like, oh, here's this cool little bit of mythology, or here's this cool bit of science fiction or science horror or fantasy horror that I can steal things from and adapt to my world. And that's, I've said it before back in I think issue 4 of this, is I just love the way that Mike is like, oh yeah, I'll borrow that. Yeah, that exists in this world. Oh yeah, I'll borrow that. That exists in this world. And the weird thing is it works every time.
Right.
It doesn't. It's not out of place.
Right, and see, that's why, I think borrowing is definitely a better description for it, because, he's taking these things and he's making it work within his framework and stuff, and kind of changing it when needed, to work in this world, but still staying true to it, So, he's got a good eye for those elements, and he's able to do them justice and stuff, and stuff like totally. But yeah. But yeah, he's He's a good storyteller for sure. So what'd you guys think about the art? Now, this is one of the things I'm running out of words for because, as always, it's great. His use of shadow in space is, fucking amazing and stuff. But it's very much,
it always
familiar Hellboy.
It always blows my mind how simple and how complex the art is at the same time. And I know that sounds like some stupid sort of copy-outy kind of a thing, but at the same time, it's true because you don't. There's not huge amounts of detail. We're not, talking, 90s X-Men or 2000s X-Men where every single page is full of, loads and loads and loads of shit to look at. That Mike takes very simple shapes and very simple designs of characters and just runs with it super, super well. And it honestly does the storytelling justice because if you had to read all of those pages of dialogue and stare at super, super complex scenes the entire time, I don't think that this would have nearly the same impact as it does, or any of Hellboy for that matter. I think...
Yeah. And
if you wanted this level of storytelling and complex art, you'd go read Alan Moore.
Yeah, and some of Alan Moore's books are a little
fucking
too wordy for
sleepers.
me. Well, yeah, that too, but there's a couple of them that are a little too wordy for me. But I think it's just the overall feeling that I get from Mike's just work is the art's here to accentuate the story and also tell the story at the same time. It's not a matter of I have a story and I need to make visuals for it. It's a matter of the visuals and the story working hand in hand to build something. And that's not something you see in comics a lot. A lot of the time, the art is done by someone who's not remotely involved in the story creative process, and that's where you run into some issues with some things. Like Infinity Gauntlet's an awesome story. Some of the art in the Infinity Gauntlet books is a little too over the top for my taste, just because it takes away from the impact of what's going on.
Right. The art definitely. What's that? Sorry.
I was gonna say I will say though that I like Thanos' design, but anyway.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, Hellboy's art, Mignola's art definitely invites you into the book, and keeps you hanging around for the dialogue and stuff, I think. I think that was one of the things that kept this one from being, too, I guess boring, in the sense that I didn't really understand too much of what was going on with the mythology and all that. But, the art was so great, that it kept me reading. It welcomes you in and hooks you. And, then you stay for the fucking awesome story, So.
I think the art fit very well. I've got to agree that I think it fit well because it's not too terribly complex, but it illustrated the story perfectly. It's also refreshing to me because I do want to draw my own comics, and it's refreshing to see that in mainstream comics because it reminds me that I don't have to be perfect portrait artist to do Western style comics.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely inspiring, and I definitely agree with that. It does. It kind of gives you the encouragement to fucking explore your own style and shit.
It feels like what matters more than
cold here.
than knowing anatomy and knowing perspective and knowing the technicals of art is this consistency within your own style.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and another thing, too, with the fact that the art style is so simple, and it's a perfect example of it is this book right here, is anytime Mike does a half panel, or a half-page panel, or a full-page panel of art, because the art style is simple, it departs from the smaller panels where you're getting the story and things like that, to Mike will throw a little more detail into those bigger panels, and they have a bigger impact overall because of that. It's all in the same style and all roughly the same level of complexity, but because he keeps the art style simple for storytelling panels and things like that, when you get, for example, when that giant worm thing bursts out of the island in the first book near the end, it gives it more impact, and that's what really I love about Mike's art. Is it's simple, but it can still impact you. Just like I'm trying to think of his name right now. The guy who drew Transmet, the first time you see the city, first book. Yeah. It has that same level of impact, but it's not overly. It's not a visual overload, and that's
it's not overly produced.
Yeah, that's what tends to happen when you have these big scenes in comics. Like Galactus, for example, is another great example of it. When there's a couple of full-page panels of Galactus coming along, and there's a lot of detail going on, and it feels like there's too much to look at. Which isn't a bad thing because it impacts you. It's like, oh shit, this is fucking real. But Mike manages to get away with it in such a way that he doesn't need to draw too much more complex of a scene in order to get that same level of impact. And that's just good art.
He's definitely very Kirby-esque in that he's comfortable in his style. Like, you can look at a Kirby Galactus and it's not too cluttered. You know, it's detailed, but it's not too visually overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
and that's the same quality that Mike has, you know. And he too has angular fingers, I've noticed.
Yeah.
He draw, you know. So, but yeah, I would say stylistically he's very close to like a Kirby in terms of like mastery of the form and like knowing when to go deep with the detail and when to pull back and let the story speak, and it's really fascinating stuff for sure. You know, I mean, it's definitely stuff I've been keeping an eye on as I get back into drawing and, you know, and stuff. You know, for when I finally feel comfortable trying to put a book together or some sort of story together. Yeah. You know, this is definitely going to be something I take some cues from.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it's really refreshing it's a refreshing reminder for me that there are different styles out there in Western comics and that I don't have to draw a certain way. I don't necessarily have to be like an expert at certain stuff in order to, and it helps you stand out too.
Right.
Because you don't have to be. But I really appreciated that because it was still coherent. Granted, it was very wordy. So the art was there to complement basically the wordiness, almost like a picture book, but with words.
Like a fairy tale in a sense. Yeah.
And so it complemented without needing to do the talking itself.
Right. Yeah. I like that.
And you know, it also proves that you don't need to design a character with 50 pouches all over them in order for it to be a good character.
Like, I don't know if you've seen any of my artwork up on Twitter, Piper, but you know, one of the things I'm doing, I'm trying to refine my style, but still make it noticeably mine, you know? So, like, with the musculature and, I can't speak words now, but, like, with the muscular, god damn it, and then I tried to say it again, with that shit, the muscles.
I know what you mean.
You know, like, I'm going very stylized with it, but I'm also, you know, trying to get anatomy down a little bit more and stuff, but while still retaining my style, and it is thanks in large part to artists like, you know, Mike Mignola. You know, who just fucking drive their style home. They, you know, and fucking,
I officially haven't found my own style. So some of my stuff will look like manga, and some will look Disney, and some will look more Western comics because I'm trying to get a feel for where I want to be.
Right.
But that's where the like doing commissions and stuff like that for people help because they want certain looks.
Right.
And so if you can give that to them because you're versatile, that always helps. But it's still practice too.
Right. Yeah, and you know, and with my art lately, you know, I've been incorporating people's suggestions and stuff, you know, and things, you know, but yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not trying to go for like a mainstream style or anything, you know, and, you know, it is comfortable to know that there, you know, is the possibility to find an audience with that stuff, you know, like Mignola's done, you know, where it's uniquely his. It is a little bit evocative of Kirby, but for the most part, it is, you know, his own thing. you know, and it's really encouraging, you know. So I don't know where I was going with that. I got distracted by something shiny.
I see your stuff. I try to pay attention to everybody that draws because I usually am learning from them, or I try to boost them a whole bunch too. And I'm jealous of yours because it's got more of the detail and realism that I wish I was capable of.
No, that's all the marijuana. I'm telling you, that creativity is all fucking in the bottom of a bowl. You know?
maybe alcohol is my problem.
Oh man.
No, I try not to drink and draw unless I'm doing a stream where it's funny. But
Well,
right.
Our substance abuse issues come from the same point as our creativity. It's all
that's supposed to be true.
It's
What,
all
trauma?
spawned from the fact that we hate ourselves and are trying to kill ourselves through various chemicals.
Oh, I don't think pot's gonna do that. I mean, it's not gonna stop me from trying, but
That's why I inject black tar heroin to the vein of my dick.
oh Jesus
okay.
Christ! I've seen the pictures. He's not lying.
No, that wasn't my dick. That was a hobo.
Oh,
And by that point, he'd already OD'd.
dude, where are you finding 13-inch long hobos?
Why are they hobos?
Yeah, and why are they
Make
hobos,
some mad money
Jason?
with that.
It's the things I gotta do to get off.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I have very refined taste.
Is talking about Hellboy one of those things? Because I think we stopped doing that like fucking an hour ago. Oh God, we've only been doing this for a half hour.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we got another 26
You're in
minutes.
trouble.
Yeah.
No, we're not. We're good.
Actually, closer to about 40 minutes, but nonetheless, we still got to talk about something, guys.
All right.
We got this. All right.
Hellboy, am I right, guys?
Yeah, right.
Oh, you don't understand. Have you not listened to the podcast before, Piper? This is the part where we get completely off topic and talk about totally unrelated shit.
I'm pretty sure we
All right,
had an
good.
entire 20-minute long conversation about me eating cockroaches behind a 7-Eleven or something. So, like,
Canned
It
noodles
was the
anytime.
Panda Express.
I'm ready.
yes, it was the Panda Express. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. I eat at so many garbage cans that I sometimes forget which one we've already talked about.
What about
The
Arby's?
weirdest part
Ooh. No, I do other things behind the Arby's.
the weirdest part, though, is he can afford food. He chooses to live like this.
Oh, that's fucked up, man.
Yeah, but I have a really great dragon dildo collection.
Well,
No, that's
fuck.
Piper.
Damn it. I only
No.
have 2.
I think that's too many.
Yeah.
No, I want so many more.
Too bad you can't put that on your Amazon wish list. Jesus Christ.
I'm living off Amazon ramen, you guys.
Oh.
But I was sent 2 dragon dildos, so there's... Actually, neither one of them are dragons, but they're from there, so...
Did you ever think of like
from Brad
gluing
Pitt.
them to a belt and like tying it around your head?
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Wait, what?
Nothing. I'm stoned. Okay, Jesus Christ.
Oh, what did I tie to a belt around my head?
No, the dragon dildos.
I have not used them as a hat yet, no.
Okay. then why do you have them, Piper?
What I want to know
Because,
is, you get the model that lets you come inside of yourself with dragon dildo?
Yes,
Or,
and oh my
Oh.
god, that lube is so freaky, dude. Like the pizza commercials with the perfect cheese.
oh God.
That is that. Lube.
Wow.
That is what that lube looks like, only liquidy. Like, but still, it has strings like that cheese.
Now, I was about to say I'm intrigued, but not for the reasons that most people are expecting. Tell me more about these dragon dildos.
This is what I do to everybody's streaming podcast.
No, you've listen. You probably elevated the level of discourse by at least 35-40% tonight.
You know the worst part is
one is like a werewolf monster, and the other one is one of the tentacles.
Ooh.
I'm seeing this playing out one of two ways. We're gonna spike, or we're gonna fail.
Graded Point 5 is in no way sponsored, nor makes any money off of the sale of Bad Dragon dildos.
But I should.
But we totally,
Disclaimer.
brought on a girl as a fucking stunt. So
Yeah, it's not like we're friends with her or anything. We only brought her here to talk about dragon dicks.
Nah, Piper's awesome.
Titties.
If you don't follow her on the Twatters, do it. Especially if you like titties.
Yeah. Plus, I've heard I'm funny.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been laughing. But I might be mentally ill. So
I think you have to be to find me funny.
I don't know. I think I have to patrol you a little too much.
Hey.
How so?
Wait, what?
Just every now and then, I gotta come in and put you in your place. Just be gone, thought.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I have a couple, I think, of designated. They're like resident bullies.
Shit. Jason being one of them.
Yeah.
That come on every now and then to come knock me down a few pegs.
Let me guess. It's Sprout and Jason.
Yep.
Wait, who's the other one?
Fruit.
Yeah. Sprout is
Oh, okay, yeah.
is a bully. He's fucking hilarious.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Fuck, man. No, I was gonna say, Jason, he only gives you a hard time because he's jealous that I'm showing you more attention than him. So.
Aww.
Nah, dude, I don't care. I've been able to sit back and...
Dude, okay, we've been saying all sorts of fucking retarded shit tonight, and that was the one that made you step back and go, ooh.
Dude, no, I've been sitting back and eating this entire time.
I know. I've heard it.
Professionalism on display is outstanding.
Hey, listen.
You know what, motherfucker?
We set expectations long ago. We cannot fucking break them.
You know what, motherfucker?
All right,
Can
Dick.
you hear this? Can you hear this, motherfucker?
Oh?
But are you serious?
We
That
can't
was it?
hear anything other than the flick of the lighter, bro.
No, I
Oh,
heard
you're supposed to hear.
I heard a little God, now I got the hiccups.
Dude,
Jesus
an
Christ.
infant can burp better than that.
Who was burping?
Dude, that was a dry burp. I haven't had anything to drink.
That was a dry burp. You like everything dry, Jason.
Only your asshole.
Well, it's the only way I can get off.
Ah, damn.
No,
Yeah.
Mike Mignola, guys. Yeah.
I'd like to fuck Mike Mignola's ass too. I was just keeping it on topic. No.
But no, like,
Yeah, it's
this whole experiment of ours is coming to a close with, doing this whole long form thing.
right. And our
The
thoughts.
long form thing.
Oh,
We've been doing
an
8
entire
straight
series.
episodes of Hellboy,
Yeah.
trying to keep
Okay.
continuity.
Yeah.
Jason, I did want to say that our our thoughts are with our buddy Evan, who had some family stuff to take care of and wasn't able to be on the show tonight. So, it's looking like everything's okay, but
Well, Evan, thoughts and prayers like 3, 4, 5 weeks after this actually gets aired.
yeah. Well, no, look, he's getting them tonight when we're recording it. People are only knowing why he's not here when they're hearing me say things. Okay? So, listen, to them, it was last week for all they know,
See, Evan, this is what happens when you don't show up for the show. It turns to shit real quick.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's Jason's fault. It's
You
not your
regretting bringing me back, Jason?
I feel like we should be playing Baby Come Back in the background.
Baby, come back. Yeah. Hey, it's not like he left us for another podcast.
No, he just runs that one on the side. But don't worry. We knew what it was going into it.
Yeah. Oh, the sad thing is everything we just said was true. He does have another slut on the side. I mean, podcast.
Well, I mean, Burb's in there, so yeah, slut.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like this one is, I can't really talk about it very much because, again, a lot of this stuff was over my head. And I feel like this is, even though I don't understand it, I'm still really compelled by it. So I think this is one I really would kind of like to let people read for themselves, along with last week's issue, or last episode's, rather.
Yeah, we can't really do this justice, guys. Like, I know you come here for our scathing, what's the word I'm looking for?
Commentary? Criticism?
Commentary, yeah. But honestly, if you don't read this for yourself, we can't do it justice. There's just no fucking way.
Right.
Yeah, I found it boring as hell, but that's because I came in, at a bad time. I think if I read a couple of the ones leading up to it.
Hey, motherfucker, you said you knew Hellboy.
Well, she knew a Hellboy.
But I'm still saying that technically on its own, these two on their own is really wordy, less action-y for me. So I would find them boring as hell, but what I want to do is back up and catch ones leading up to it. So I'll probably like it a little bit better.
So what you're saying is you misrepresented yourself to me because you're a fake gamer.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, what I was gonna say though, are you surprised? Are you surprised? Are you surprised she likes action though? She's got 2 fucking dragon dildos for Christ's sake.
Exactly. My comics need action.
Like I said earlier, she is a tandem bicycle.
Oh God!
Oh God damn it!
That wasn't a callback, folks. That was a reminder. We're fucking terrible people, and I love every minute of it.
Piper the Super Nerdland bicycle.
Oh.
But at least I'm y'all's bicycle and nobody
we
else.
love you, Piper. Although I do have to wipe the seat off sometimes.
You know what the worst part is?
Well, like I said, that bad dragon freaking cum lube, man. That stuff's messy. It is messy as fuck.
It's not that you're saying this and she's agreeing. It's you're saying all this and she still won't let me have a ride.
Damn.
Well, dude.
She keeps telling me she has a weight limit.
That's what I was going to say, but I hesitated on that one, Jason, because I wasn't sure it was going too far.
If you have to ask yourself if you're going too far, the answer is always no.
Yeah, I haven't gone far enough.
So
You're a bicycle.
I'm near impossible to offend. So
If you're a bicycle, does that mean you have tassels on your nipples? Because normally the tassels go on the handlebars.
Oh, Lordy Jesus.
I can put them there. Yes, I have some.
I was going to ask her how she looks in pigtails, because, those are God's natural handbars.
Exactly. I love
Get
pigtails.
yourself some water.
Wait, what?
You thirsty motherfuckers.
Dude, look, we've got somebody in our midst who has tits and a great sense of humor. This will never happen again.
Dude, Wade is usually here.
Hey, don't you make fun of that big black man.
Great, now you're gonna make the viewers think he's actually black.
Dude, that has been my goal on every episode I've been on. So, I will have everybody believing that Wayne is black. That will go on our wiki if we ever have one.
Man, you're gonna start a race riot.
Oh shit.
Well, it wouldn't be the first one this week. Oh, God. No, I'm pretty sure when we were recording our other show this weekend, our fucking stoned Let's Play thing, that I said some incredibly racist stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I just can't wait for the episode to go up so I can see what the fuck I did to myself. Nah, but, that's one thing that's been great about this group, and Grade of Point 5 in particular, there really is no fucking limit as to the depths of our bad taste.
There's no bar.
Yeah, no. I mean, if the universe is infinite, yeah, yeah, we're just out there fucking heading out into, you know, the most tasteless fucking ending you can possibly imagine. You know, it's, yeah.
And then
We
we'll
work
get our
hard.
very own New 52, and it'll be great.
Now, your racism doesn't have his briefs on the outside of his pants. I don't even know what the fuck that was supposed to mean. Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah.
You know, this might only be funny to us.
Yeah.
Because we're...
It's
I'm
funny to
drunk.
at least
Well,
300
see,
people a week.
About to say,
Yeah.
here's the thing. We always say that.
Right.
But then
Yes.
I look at the numbers and like 300
Somebody's
plus
listening.
people a week, man.
Yeah, somebody's listening.
Dude, that's cool. I only have like 50 fucking mental patients willing to subscribe to my YouTube. So y'all are like stars, man.
So wait, you mean to tell me?
Oh God, the anxiety's kicking in.
I brought you here for the bump, but we're giving you the bump?
Maybe.
Dude, that sounds like a euphemism for showing your
Like,
penis,
this is
Jason.
like when the face puts the heel over.
I'm not saying you have a tiny dick, Jason, but that does sound like a euphemism for showing her your wang.
See, I will admit, one of the very, very few things in life I am proud of
I'm giving you the bump, baby.
is I have never sent a picture of my penis to Piper.
That is a rare.
That's your lifelong achievement. Not sending
That
Piper
proves
your
I
dick
still
pic?
have standards.
Oh,
God damn.
oh, holy shit. Jason.
If there was
Jason.
a line, that probably wouldn't cost either. But
Wow, I
still,
There's a
goddamn.
line and you haven't crossed it.
Dude, the line is like
Oh,
50 miles
God.
back. We're
yeah,
If I had a line, you might be within miles of it.
oh, Jesus Christ. Everything about this show is horrible,
is
and
cold, man.
this will go down in history as one of the greatest atrocities on mankind, and Piper in particular. I'm sorry we did this to you.
I'm gonna listen to this later sober, and I'm gonna be like, God damn it, I'm a fucking whore.
And then
Hey, I showed you my tits, Piper.
And then the worst part is, you're going to DM me and ask me when you can do
My
it again.
tits.
Right? Exactly. I was about to say, hey, I will come on here anytime. Anytime I have time and you guys want to degrade me, apparently.
Oh, man, nah. Now I'm starting to feel bad, like I got
At
one of
least
those
give me the comic
consciousness. Yeah, next... Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm ashamed of everything we've done here tonight. I can't wait to listen to it.
No, here's the legitimate, actual point to all this nonsense.
Yeah.
This whole thing, and even the shit that happened before it, and Daryl, you know what I'm alluding to,
Yeah.
has all just been one long experiment for us.
Yeah.
Baby.
To see that if given the right sort of people and the right shit just to start the conversation with,
Booze.
how far we can
And
go.
apparently pot.
While still managing to talk about comics, apparently.
While making it still ostensibly about comics. Because, I mean, shows like these, you either make it 100% about the content and go
You turn it into Oprah's book club.
and go
You know?
autismal detail.
Yeah. Well, in this particular comics case, unless you want to give away like everything about it, there's only so much you can say without, you know, telling people you need to read it for yourself.
And that's why we've kind of maintained this as just as much about the personalities involved.
Yeah.
Right, and since we couldn't find any, we just decided to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Y'all are dicks.
Yeah, the worst is that we're dicks to ourselves. Like, we're equal opportunity dickheads.
Well, that's the thing. Like self-deprecating humor or whatever is the best humor.
Oh yeah.
And you have to be able to see. That is why I don't give a shit what anybody says about me ever. is because you have to be able to laugh at yourself, or you're going to be miserable.
Absolutely.
Especially if you like being on the internet at all, period.
Yeah. This is something I've had to learn in recent, in the last couple months, and it's been fucking awesome,
If you can insult yourself better than anybody else, then
their insults don't hurt you.
They can't hurt you.
That, and it's like one of the rules of
I look at myself in the mirror and say, worse, damn it.
One of the rules. God,
I know all my flaws better than you.
one of the rules for being around me is you have to know that if there's a joke there, I don't care if there's a line. I'm going to make it for the cheap laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Even if I'm the only one laughing.
No, and I think
and my thing is, I would be disappointed in anybody that didn't. If I accidentally set them up and they don't take it,
yeah.
shame on them.
Right. And I think that's why Jason and I in particular work so well. I mean, Dick is great too.
Just telling a bald-faced lie right now.
Okay, so Dick's here. Okay, I know Dick's here, but no. Jason and I have very similar senses of humor.
Fuck him mostly, I guess.
Nah, Dick knows we love him. Sometimes a little too. Oh, yeah, yes, especially plastic ones that shoot goo.
Right? The kind of the ones I have is a tentacle and a werewolf dick, I think. So
yeah.
I don't actually have a dragon dick yet, so I don't know what a dragon feels like.
Right. That's on your to-do list, your fucking bucket list.
It's on my bucket list.
Jesus Christ.
But no, Jason and I, we pair well together because we got similar senses of humor, and if he doesn't get the punchline or whatever, I'll pick it up, because we're thinking the same goddamn thing.
Yep.
And we're both depraved enough to say it.
If all else fails, just say bow chicka bow wow at the end.
That should be our outro. Bow chicka wow wow.
Bow chicka bow wow.
Yeah. This has turned from a podcast to an orgy, so we'll be seeing you later, folks.
The weird part is this entire time we've been going on like this, I reread the 2 issues.
How do you do that? I need quiet in order to read. I need people to not look at me in order to read.
Dude.
See, he's got a stoner sense, so he can just tune out everything and just fucking... Yeah. He often leaves the show for 30 minutes at a time, and we don't even know he's gone. He's just fucking...
Yeah, I have this... I don't know. I have... apparently, hypervigilance is a disorder.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I have that. So I need absolute quiet in order to read.
Oh, dude,
Right.
The thing is, if I'm sober, I have hypervigilance.
Right, isn't that
This is why I drink, and I still have it.
I had what I thought was hypervigilance. It's every time I heard a noise from outside the room, I thought somebody was trying to get a hold of me, or somebody might have been in danger.
Yeah.
I was always on that heightened sense of.
That can be very specific, tuned hypervigilance. I think that still counts.
Yeah.
My problem is it's why I startle super easy.
Yeah. Right.
And it's retarded. Oh God.
No, it's yeah. Haven't you been fucked with a couple times by your roommate or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah.
I found out that I will fucking hit myself in the fucking face.
Yeah.
If you startle me at the right time, apparently in the right situation, I will hit myself in the face.
I just wanted to hear that story.
Okay, I'm about to say, you're getting a little too inside baseball here now, guys.
We gotta step on the brakes, guys. I think
No, we don't, man. There is no time constraint that we don't place on ourselves.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I do want to kind of get it back on to point for a minute before I forget.
All right.
Hellboy,
Well,
right, guys? No.
Yeah.
Well, no, we got 2 more things to read after this, and then we're stopping.
Right.
On the Hellboy?
Yeah.
Okay.
10 episodes is getting a little heady.
Right.
Yeah, I would keep each title to 10 episodes. Sounds like a nice round number.
Yeah, there's some stuff we're gonna want to give a little bit of a longer look to. just to hit the highlights. You know?
I think that we should really think before going in 10 again.
Well, you know, considering we don't actually talk about the comics at all, I don't think it matters, right?
Hey, you spend the majority talking about the comics.
Yeah. Yeah, but this, I mean, we're kind
Bad
of...
Dragon. I think they go together well, actually.
Oh, God. Now I'm going to be hunting all the pages of Hellboy for, like, tiny dragon dildos in the background.
We just need a Hellboy-inspired dildo.
Yes.
Oh.
I mean, yeah.
The big cock of doom.
I mean, I might buy that.
Third leg of doom. The third leg of doom.
That's the
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah, because we are kind of hamstrung by the fact that this is a dense book and we don't want to really ruin it, because it is something worth experiencing. Even if I didn't understand it, I would still agree with that it's something worth experiencing.
That was the point I was starting to make it like a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Well, we've been bullshitting. I reread the goddamn thing.
Yeah.
I read all the Hellboy leading up to this. It still sent me leaving here going, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know. So
3 or 4 times before it starts to make.
Okay, so maybe that's
well,
part
and
of
to
my
be
problem,
fair,
too, is I'm trying to speed read it while y'all are dicking around and making me laugh.
oh yeah, I've been right where you are, like where I've been so distracted leading into the show, like they'll tap me late, you know, and then I'll have to read the book in like 20 minutes, and I just get too distracted by the pre-show
this is my
shit.
own fault. I had like a whole week, I think, to read them. 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I had
but
2 whole
Jason,
weeks.
you didn't give her the tools she needed to read
Yeah,
it.
but if she
Yeah, but I didn't know. I didn't know I needed them until
exactly.
today.
If you tried to open the file 2 weeks ago, I didn't know.
I didn't even try to read it until today.
Wow, she fits right in here.
Until like an hour before this.
Welcome to the show, Piper. You fit right in.
I'm a procrastinator. I do my best work under pressure.
Why do today what you could put off till tomorrow, right?
Right?
Yeah.
No, I did. I got busy and I completely forgot.
You gotta laugh.
And then I got the message that was like, yeah, it's tomorrow night or whatever, and I was like, oh fuck.
Oh shit.
I was like, fuck, I forgot to write that in my calendar. I forgot I agreed.
But that's still putting more effort into it than we do on most weeks. So
I usually put this stuff on my calendar. The problem is my calendar's a dry erase board. I don't use I don't use technology for my calendar like I should, like a normal person probably at this point.
I don't do that.
Good, because I don't like my phone telling me what to do. So, I don't like Google telling me what to do. So I put it on a dry erase board in the hallway, and I forgot to put this one until yesterday.
What happened?
I reminded.
What happened, guys, is that she got a little tipsy, had one too many beers, and then just drew fucking dragon dildos all over the fucking date and time. So
see now sometimes that will be the reminder, and that will tell me what I need to do. But
if you just want to draw dildos and douches, that'll remind you next time.
But sometimes I'm like, all right, why did I draw a dick on the 8th? I can't fucking remember. I'm supposed to fuck somebody?
I like how your schedule's so full you can't remember. Jesus Christ, you did that one to your. Oh, that was fucking great. So yeah, I do think we've reached. Unless Jason, do you have anything to say before we wrap up, man?
Dude, I'll be honest.
You want to do the after show party?
I don't know how I would do 2 more weeks of this.
Really?
I say weeks, but we often go 2 to 3 weeks between episodes.
Yeah. Well, it's to give it that fucking premium feel, So, that's a load of bullshit, but.
Alright. But no, it's just... I don't think I could take another one as dense as this.
Right.
Well, from what I understand, the next two aren't nearly as dense, but they're still pretty dense.
Well, Jason, that's the thing, man. Why don't you get the books ready, and we'll fucking go over them and see how we feel about them, man. Because I'm digging Hellboy, but I did kind of feel like a third and fourth wheel, along with Piper, because... so if the next one's as dense, if it's not really kind of a standalone thing, it might be worth skipping. I don't know. Unless you can get Evan back in, and then fucking all will be right with the world. So.
If not, bring me back.
Yeah.
I've got the good tits. From what I hear.
Dude, she's got a chest for radio.
I wouldn't know.
Just for radio.
I feel like I'm missing all the good things.
Dude, it's right there on the social medias.
I have the butt for radio. That's the mystery right there. The chest isn't the mystery.
Oh, Lord. Got the face for radio.
Oof. Damn.
Went for that low blow.
But yeah, so let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Because I think we flogged this dead horse for 20 minutes too long. What do you guys say?
Also, Bad Dragon has horse dicks.
Oh.
Bad Dragon needs to pay me.
End on right there. Is Bad Dragon has horse dicks.
Nah, we need to do our plug, man. We need to do our plug.
No, man.
Just in case somebody sat through all that shit.
You know what? Her ass is at Grade.5 on Twitter. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Hey, this is Jason. This here to say, if you enjoyed the show, spread it around on social media. And follow our social media presences on Facebook and Twitter, both at Graded.5. Just spell the whole thing out. Also, support your local comic shop and the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. If you don't know where your local comic shop is, there are sites like findacomicshop.com, and that'll help you find it. Well, we hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll catch you next time.